Hello, we're live. Yes, good, brilliant. I need a 5x5 comms check, please, before we jog on with this. Wow, we got some stuff to talk about, these storms that's going down. Now, can you guys see and hear me? I've done something with the latency, so hopefully the lag's not going to be for too long. So let's see, shall we? It's usually about 30 seconds, but we'll wait. If you're watching this in a replay, hi, you might want to skip about 10 minutes. Thank you, Rachel, darling. It's coming out. It's coming out. And yep, handyman in the house says so too. So brilliant. You can see and hear me. That's the most important thing. Big dog's in the house. Also, big dog is in the building, isn't it? So what we're going to do, I think, we're just waiting for everything to warm up. Excuse me. I don't know about you guys, but if you've experienced some crazy winds today, doesn't seem to be reported. Ninja Man, hello, brother. Good to see you, mate. Awesome. Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. People are getting notified. That's really good. If you're new to this, you're watching a replay, consider subscribing and notified, because that way you're going to be in with a shout to get into the live stream. We've got over 100 people in here already in 1 minute, which is pretty nice. Awesome. Always good to see. Cheers, Mark. It's coming out loud and clear then. Brilliant. So I've got two lists, one to do with the house and one to do with the vehicle. Both important. So, okay, the reason for this, we're going to share the screen now. If I can find the right links. Yes, we got some news coming from the US, and what usually happens here in the UK is what happens in America, especially if it's on the East Coast. On the seaboard, we do tend to get remnants of it over here. So I feel it's something that we need to keep an eye on, and to make sure that we've got as many things as we feel we need to be prepared. Most of us will have most of the stuff, but you never know. Okay, so if you think that this information is going to be helpful to someone you know, please share the link. Apparently, lots of people are sharing my videos on WhatsApp and Facebook, so that would be really cool if that continued. Seriously, hit the thumbs up, and you're in like Flynn. Cheshire Wanderer, good to see you, mate. Awesome, brilliant. Right, okay. Yes, we are talking about the USA. Now, the stuff that's going on out there is pretty bonkers. I don't know what we're seeing here on the screen. It looks like a moose crossing the freeway. What the hell? Bloody Nora. Crazy. When I looked at this earlier, it was just snow everywhere. Do you think this dude's all right doing this? This is weird, because this is a different video that was showing not that long ago, actually. Let me see if I can refresh this screen. Yeah, there we go. This is what we're talking about, the storm. There's a huge storm that's battering the US, and this is a lot more than those guys usually get this time of year. All right, so when we start seeing things like this to our brothers across the pond, and especially if NOAA is saying this is not normal, I think it's definitely something we should be keeping an eye on. Now, we're not seeing or hearing any of this or any warnings from the Met Office. So I feel there's something we should keep an eye on, and I think it's best if we at least make some preparations, because can you imagine if this sort of stuff happened where you lived? How prepared are you for this? I did do a poll, so if you'd like to take part in the poll, I'd appreciate it. We're looking to get over 500 people voting the poll, so we can get a good varied balance of just how prepared we think we are for this sort of stuff. Okay, so as we know, in America they have Thanksgiving. It's like their Christmas Day, but a bit earlier. This is unseasonal. Okay, Iowa and Illinois up to 30 centimeters. That's a foot of snow. Okay, that's tonight. So about 6 hours from now, that's going to be a dump up there. Heavy falls. So it's crazy. They're getting 35-mile-an-hour winds as well, which is going to make that pretty much of a nightmare, especially if you're out and about in a vehicle or indeed on foot. All right. So what have we got? Pacific Northwest and the Rockies as well. They've got a mixture of snow and rain this Friday. That is the latest from what's going on over there. So we're going to come out of that and we're going to see what the pilchards say from the Met Office. Yes, the wonderful Met Office. Okay. So according to the Met, we've got heavy rain and strong winds. It's been really crazy, especially yesterday, last night, and throughout today. It's been really gusty up here in the mountains in Wales. But they are issuing some storm warnings as well. Okay. So we are pretty much going to get a massive dump of rain across. You can see the accumulations there literally sweeping the country tomorrow. So yes, it's going to be very wet tomorrow, and we've got a fair bit of wind as well, so it could cause some disruptions, something to bear mind of. But I'm thinking a lot further afield. I'm thinking of December. Okay. And one of the reasons, let's check this out. One of the reasons why I'm looking at that is because if you remember what happened last year, I think it was the 5th and the 6th of December when we had Storm Dara, which was absolutely mental, especially out here. Got absolutely battered, right? And there's no reason why we couldn't have something like that again. So that's why I think it's a bit odd that we're not really getting much of a heads up on this sort of stuff. Now, if some of you guys are, as we refer to them as elders, so any of you guys who remember the winter, the big freeze, so we're talking right at the end of 62 into 1963. If any of you guys were in that and you're in the chat, that would be amazing to hear your experiences of what it was actually like. Now, I've seen quite a few documentaries and quite a bit of historical evidence that was captured over that time, and I would say that the way that our society is in modern day life, especially here in the UK, I just think we are absolutely not prepared if we was to have something which happened in 1963. So if you don't know about 1963, I'm going to share with you just some images. Right, it's crazy. And if you don't know about the big freeze in 63, go on YouTube and watch some videos on it. It's nuts. There's one really good documentary. It's over an hour long, and I think it was from, I don't know if it's ITV or maybe I don't think it's the BBC. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's really worth a watch because we can learn a lot from our elders when they went through this. It's absolutely insane what happened out there. I mean, can you imagine if we was to have something like that in this day and age? Okay. Kids back in these days, in these times, they lived through it. Okay. And don't forget, people, there was no central heating and there was no double glazing. Okay. Most people just had one fire in the house. So one room was warm and the rest were bloody freezing. And most properties back then had their toilets outside. Okay. Temperatures went down to -20. -20. Can you imagine visiting the John in the morning, -20 at the bottom of the garden? Yes. Very, very, you really have to think what you're doing. This actually happened, people. This was real. It's not some joke. Now, like I say, I'd love to hear if any of you guys remember this happening. It just kept snowing and snowing. It got colder and colder. It was absolutely horrendous. And unfortunately, lots of people didn't make it. They died. They froze to death. It was that bad. Now, I'm not being doom and gloom on it all, but kids being kids, a lot tougher than the kids these days, absolutely made the most of it. Most of the schools across the whole of the UK were closed. And if you can just take a picture, this was at Portsmouth. This was the place where I was born, in Portsmouth. And I was born after this. But yeah, even down in Portsmouth, they had snow drifts that almost covered vehicles. Straight up, this is no joke, people. Like I say, I'd love to know how you think the country as a whole would fare should we have a massive dump of snow like this. It's hard to believe. I mean, I've been to countries with -18 with snow everywhere, and they still function. Here in the UK, I mean, look at this. Absolutely insane. That little kid there in that picture. I wonder how old that kid is now. But it just goes to show, look at the snow. Can you tell the snow on the roof there? Let's see if we can have a little look. That is just insane. This was actually in the UK. And that sort of amount of snowfall we very rarely get over here. One of the coldest winters on record. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this ain't no joke. And I think it was around Christmas time, and it went on all the way through to May time. And they said the coldest it went down was to -22.2, and that was mid-January. So -22 Celsius. I've got no idea what that is in old money and Fahrenheit, but it's bloody cold. I don't care how tough people think they are. That is bad, especially for our elders. Okay, so absolutely that stuff happened, right? And I'm not saying, oh no, we're going to be getting this next month. I don't think we will. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you guys in the mindset of prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I mean, look at that. That is the height of a train. They had to dig out the train underneath the tracks. Just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. It's still hard to believe that this actually happened, but it did. It 100% did. I mean, look at that in London. Absolutely frozen solid. And it was like that for months, not just a few days, for months. I mean, that is one of the most shocking pictures I've seen in the UK, completely frozen. Don't forget, no central heating, no double glazing. Living inside a building like that, you really do need to switch on. You seriously do. Because people could absolutely 100% die in places like that. Especially if you're elderly or frail or vulnerable. Not good. Absolutely not good at all. But yeah, most of the UK was just literally cut off. I mean, that's just nuts. Look at that. Have you ever seen anything like this? That just looks so severe. It's beyond belief. Completely beyond belief. So that was the sort of stuff that was going down back in the day. Crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the things which, like the title suggests in the video, you want to start doing these things now, okay? Because I know there's a bit of a vibe and a bit of a buzz about Christmas, and people are getting stressed out and all the rest of it. It's all in the shops, etc. Okay, but when we think about it, that's like a month away, nearly a month away. Okay, so between now and then, stuff that I think is going to be important is lighting. Okay, and the reason I say that is because it gets darker earlier in the winter, around 4 o'clock. Okay, and it stays dark till what, 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock soon. Okay, so it's darker than it is light. So the chances are, when you have a power cut or something like that, it's dark. So it makes sense in my mind, I don't know about you, but to have some sort of light. Because if you haven't got a torch or know where your torches are, then how are you going to get to all of the pieces of kit and equipment in your house, which you are going to need to make it more comfortable, okay? And in more extreme, severe circumstances, probably essential, okay? Now, I've been a long advocate of this particular item here, okay? I've done YouTube videos on this a couple of years ago, and it's in my playlist of off-grid power, okay? This little thing here will literally stay on for 8 hours for a power cut. Okay, and you can also charge your phone with this as well, or indeed anything else. In fact, if you wanted to, if you had your Wi-Fi router, you know where you get your Wi-Fi from indoors. Well, when the electricity goes off, guess what? You lose your Wi-Fi, don't you? Well, what about if you got a USB lead that would come from here, and on the other side of that lead would be a DC plug, which will plug into your router, your Wi-Fi. All of a sudden, this little special power cut lantern will give you Wi-Fi. Yes, your whole house will have Wi-Fi running off of this, and it's got a light on it at the same time. Okay, so when you've got Wi-Fi going with your phone in a power cut, because you can now connect to the outside world, you can now see what's going on locally, what's going on nationwide. Is it a nationwide power cut? Is it just my street? How long is this storm going to go for? Can you contact loved ones? Are they coming back from a trip? Do you want to check up on them? Do you need to contact them with the internet? Having something like this, absolute lifesaver. If anyone wants to know more information about this, click the link below the video underneath, and it's got the thing to OLIGHT. Right now, they have got up to 50% off in their Black Friday sale. So having a power cut lantern like this, which is the O Lantern Classic, is essential, in my opinion. I mean, I have actually used that in power cuts, and also its big brother here as well. This one is exactly the same with a much bigger power bank. All right, you can probably put a USB splitter in there, so you can now have 2 USB ports, one to charge your phone and one to give you Wi-Fi. All right, just an idea. But these things are awesome. Okay, your power goes out and it's dark because it's winter time. At least you can get around and find all of the other pieces of kit and equipment. So I would say something like a gas stove. Okay, any sort of gas stove, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I prefer the ones that have got 2 burners and a grill that folds up in a little briefcase type thing. If you're interested, there's links to my Amazon shop underneath where it's got all of these things that I'm talking about. You click onto my Amazon shop page and all of the things I'm talking about are all in there. And I found the cheapest prices that I could on Amazon and listed them just to make it easier for you guys, to save you time going through it all, because I spent days compiling the Amazon shop. So a gas stove, really, really good, because with a gas stove, you've got no electricity. Guess what? You can boil water. You can put it into hot water bowls. You can cook your food. You can make cups of tea, because all the time you are putting hot food and drink inside your body. Don't forget your core body temperature right there, 37.5 degrees C, plus or minus 2 degrees C. Anything outside of that zone is very dangerous. And I mean seriously dangerous. Okay. Hypothermia and hypothermia. Too hot or too cold, you are in big trouble. Seriously big trouble. So in order to get hot stuff inside of you, if you've got, you know, the power is off because it's been a power cut because of these storms, these are the sorts of things that you need to get now, sooner rather than later. All right, because we've already had power cuts already, and it's only, what is it, November? Yeah, we got December, January, February to go yet. So the thing is, getting these sorts of pieces of kit and equipment now is probably going to be easier to get. I would personally rather have these things before we had a crazy power cut. I had one here for 3 days, and I'll tell you this much, it's no joke, being stuck out here in the middle of nowhere in the mountains with 0 power. Thank God I saw ahead and got the things that I needed ahead of time, because living in a house with no heating and no power for 3 days out here, it gets cold, real cold, and you have to do your best to stay warm. And if you've got nothing to do that, you're going to suffer. And if you're frail or you're elderly or you're ill, you could come a cropper quite easy. All right, so a gas stove. Now you can use the tiny little square ones with the gas canisters that you put inside. They're great, they absolutely work fine, but make sure you've got enough gas bottles because they don't last that long. All right, you can get the one that I've got, which requires any sort of larger size gas bottle. So you're looking at the 7.5 kilo ones, the 13 kilo ones. You know, they would last for ages. Okay, but not only do they cook your food, they can keep you warm as well. All right, warm the room up if you've got a small kitchen or something like that. Warm your hands up there if you're getting a bit cold. It all helps. Okay, so another important thing, which indeed my partner put me onto, which does make sense, is a camping kettle, because most people have a bog standard, press a switch down, their kettle comes off. Okay, hello, no power. There is no power. You can't do that no more. So you want a cup of tea, you want to fill your hot water bottle up. Now, if you haven't got a little camping kettle, and I suggest you get the ones with the little whistles on there, because you can be doing other things and getting things organized. And as soon as you start hear that whistling, you know that it's on the boil, and that's what you need. Okay, so try to imagine if you didn't have that and you had a saucepan. Now you've got to get a saucepan. Just say you haven't got a lid on it. It didn't come with a lid. Who knows? You need to boil that. It's going to take ages. Now you've got the dreaded task of holding a saucepan, trying to pour it into a tiny little hole like that in your hot water bottle without getting burnt. So having a kettle makes it safer and faster. So because you're using a kettle, you're conserving energy. You're not wasting gas. It will boil water a lot quicker than it would an open top saucepan. Okay, and like I say, when you pour it, you got a small outlet of the kettle into a small inlet of a hot water bottle. Safer, so fast and safe and conserving energy. So a little camping kettle is worth its weight in gold. You can pick them up for not much at all. If you're lucky, you might even find them in charity shops. If you do, it doesn't matter what color it is. It doesn't have to look attractive. If it does the job, that's the one that you need. All right. I would rather have a camping kettle than try and do any of that with a great big saucepan. Okay, because you start adding like burns onto your problem in a power cut. That's serious. Okay, and if it's a serious burn, yeah, it's not nice. It's really not nice. I've been burnt. My partner's been burnt. We've got friends that have been burnt. And if you're doing that alone within a power cut, you're making your situation a whole lot worse. So something simple like a camping kettle, really, really good. Lighters as well. Always make sure that you've got a lighter, all right? Because you need to have lighters inside the house. It's no good, right, storing lighters in your garage or your shed or your attic, okay? And the reason for this is because lighters always work better at room temperature. Yeah, lighters, just like batteries, don't like cold, okay? So make sure that if you do have lighters, and I hope you do, you don't have to smoke. Basically, I would say to anyone, always make sure that you carry a lighter, even if you don't smoke, okay? Because you never know when you're going to need it, especially in a power cut. If you've got a lighter and you carry it in your trouser pocket or whatever, it's going to be warm. It's going to work straight away, okay? One of the biggest things which really blew my mind was I took some advice from some of my American friends, and I got lots of BIC lighters, the small thin ones, the ones that fit inside an Altoids tin. Okay, I kept them for 10 years. Okay, none of them work. Not one of them works. So I completely fell out of love with BIC lighters. I don't know why they've done that. I got 10 or 20 of them. I tested every single one. None of them would work. And they were genuine BIC lighters. So BIC lighters, not for me. If you like BIC lighters or you've used them, that's absolutely fine. I don't know. It happened to me. I'm just passing on what happened to me. So get yourself some lighters, a mixture as well. Some of those flame, you know, the fast turbo ones, the jet ones, they're pretty good. I would personally avoid the really, really cheap ones. They're probably okay if you use them pretty much straight away. But if you store them for a few years, there is a chance they will fail and they won't work. And then you've got loads of brand new lighters that just don't work. Okay. Matches as well. Matches are good, but like I said in the live stream, I think it was last week, matches when they're cold and they're damp, they just don't work. Okay, they really don't. So again, the same rule applies. If you're storing batteries or fuel or anything to do with fire lighter, make sure that you keep them in room temperature in that environment. Okay, don't be storing matches in your shed. They just won't work. If you don't believe me, go and try it. They just won't work. They'll be damp, they won't strike, they'll break, they'll be rotten, they won't be any good at all. So hot water bottles, an absolute essential. Okay, in my opinion, every household in the UK should have one hot water bottle per person minimum, ideally two. Okay, so if you have to go to bed where it's cold, one by your feet and one by your chest. Okay, and once you get into bed, you can move them around and it will warm up all of the area under your duvet. Okay, and another little tip as well, if you're new to this channel, when you do that, you're in bed, you've got your hot water bottles, you've warmed up now. Okay, so what you've done is your body heat is now trapped inside that small cavity in your sleep system, in your bed. If you need to get up to go to the toilet, okay, when you get out of bed, the first thing you do is you cover your covers straight back over, because what that's doing, that's keeping all of that hot air which you've accumulated in there safe. Okay, so you go to the toilet, you come back, you get into bed, guess what? It's still hot. So what happens if we don't do this? Okay, you've built up all that heat, you throw the covers back, you go downstairs or upstairs to go to the toilet, you come back, all of that heat which you've stored up is gone. You're getting into a cold bed and you've got to start all over again. It works. If you don't believe me, try it and you won't believe the difference. Okay, it really does work like a charm. So going back to some accidents, all right, so you've got a saucepan, the water's boiling at last because you haven't got a camping kettle. Now you've got to get it into that tiny hole in your hot water bowl. You could use a funnel. You could do. So now you've got to hold the hot water bowl and you know you've got a funnel and now you've got a saucepan. It's starting to look a bit sketchy. All right. You can easily have an accident. So if you did get burnt, okay, and it's easily done because we're talking about boiling water and we're talking naked flames of our gas stove. One of the most common accidents that anyone could have in a power cut, believe it or not, is to get burnt. You're not going to get electrocuted because the power's off. So you could get burnt. All right. So make sure that you've got a burns kit. All right. So if you don't know what a burns kit is, you can get these sachets of gel, and it's mainly like tea tree. So you put that onto your burn and it immediately cools it. Okay. If you haven't got anything like that, my advice is to get whatever part of the body is burnt immediately into cold water. Now, some people say, turn a tap on, hold your burnt finger under cold running water for 20 minutes. Has anyone tried it? Do you know how painful it is holding a finger or a hand underneath running water for 20 minutes? I don't think many people would make it past 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, it's crazy. So a good hack around that is to fill a vessel with water and put your hand in the water, your whole hand, and leave it in there. Okay, all the time your hand is out of the air and in cold water, you're getting instant relief. Now, the sooner you can do that, the better. Okay, so if you've just burnt your hand, trust me, your IA, your immediate action is to get your burn in cold water. Every second counts, because every second you don't do that, your burn's going to feel worse and it's going to take a lot longer to heal. And trust me, anyone who's been burnt before knows what I'm talking about. We've all done it and it's not nice. A good item to use is Acroflex. So Acroflex, that is supposed to be really, really good. Okay, so if anyone has used that, let us know in the chat or the comments. It is very, very good for calming and soothing burns. Now, moving along to things that could get accidents is oil lamps. Okay, the good old hurricane lamp. All right, those sorts of things are awesome, because during my research, and I looked into this for a long time, the only fuels that will store for probably the longest time would be paraffin. Yeah, paraffin. Paraffin's amazing. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you've got no paraffin heaters, right, or indeed gas bottle heaters, because we're talking about, we have a storm, the power goes off, and you've got no central heating. Your house is getting colder by the day. I had a power cut for 3 days. Okay, who's to know that you might not get a power cut for 3, 4, 5 days? Okay, you've got to keep warm. What are you going to do? Now, I love paraffin. It just brings back fond memories as a kid. You know, we had single glazed windows. We didn't have no central heating, and paraffin heaters were an absolute lifesaver. Now, any of you guys in the chat right now, has anyone used a paraffin heater before, or a kerosene heater, or a kero heater? In America, they call it kerosene. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you this. I've done a search. Now, this you can look at, and it's all over the country. All right. So if you haven't got a paraffin heater, open your eyes and check this out. So we're on Gumtree right now. I'll put paraffin heater, okay, all over the UK. There's 43 of them right now, okay. So looking at this type, all right, these two types here, they're okay. They're not brilliant. These are going to be used in greenhouses, okay. So if you're serious of gardening and you want your earlies to get a good start and protect it from the cold, you're going to put one of these in the greenhouse. We're not looking about these. You don't really want these inside your room. They won't do much. Something like this will, okay? This will be absolutely fine because it's much larger. It heats up more. And if you've got a smallish room, this sort of thing will work. This is in whole. So Ninja Man, if you're watching, mate, there you go. 40 smackaroonies, a good little project. One of these heaters is awesome. Mark, if you're watching, mate, you could literally get this. You could cover it with paint stripper, spray it any color you want, Ninja Man black, and having something like that will totally be a really good backup. All right. Oh, look at that. It's typical. It's opened up in another window. Well, of course it would. I hate it when it does that. These ones, no good. Greenhouse. Okay. This one, not too bad, but only in a small room, something like this. Okay. This one, that looks pretty good to me. That would be okay in a bedroom or a bathroom. That would be good because the more metal you've got, the more heat, the better. All right. Something like this, it's missing its front and back, but it will still do the job. Okay. That one would be fine. This one, I'm not so sure. These ones look mostly like they're greenhouse ones. So this is the problem, okay? I've been banging on about this for 13 years about getting these sorts of things. And it looks like people are taking note because the only ones left now are for greenhouses, which ain't all that, really. These ones are not that good. This one's okay. The Aladdin net. Awesome bits of kit, but they're okay for small rooms. This one is a bit better. I've got one of these myself. I've got a double burner in this one. And these are great. Okay, these ones are really good. This is available in Bristol. You're looking at some high-end stuff, 270 subs. That's a lot of money. This one, the same sort of one we see in Hull. This one's in Bideford in Devon. So if you're down south, that would be absolutely worth getting. Zibro, amazing, but you can get them way cheaper than 450 quid. Again, there's another one. This one's an Ipswich. So if you're over on the East Coast, that one would be absolutely good. This one here looks really, really good. A turbo paraffin heater. That's in County Durham, where it gets proper cold up there. So we go on to the next page and we see what you got. Now you're talking. Paraffin heaters like this. These are the sort of ones that you want to get, but you want to try and get the cheapest ones you can. Yes, that's good. Yes, this one's good. A space heater was just ridiculous. This one, if anyone's endorse it for £95, this, I would get it right now. That is a steal. That sort of one there probably cost you about 200 to 300 quid. And this looks brand new. And it's under £100. This one, that is excellent value. Really good. This one here, it's tiny. It probably won't do much. 4 litres of paraffin for 7 quid. If you want to get a small bottle. This one, it's not so bad. This is in Wimbledon, down in South London. You got some wicks there. I would avoid that one. That looks pretty skank to me. This one, Absolutely yes, 100%. And that's pretty much it for those. So paraffin heaters, totally worth their weight in gold. So paraffin's okay. They've got a sort of distinctive, unique smell. Some people are a bit snobby and they don't really like them, but personally, I've got no problem with them at all. So gas. Gas is good. Now, before I go any further, if you are planning on getting something like this, always make sure that you've got a carbon monoxide detector or an alarm, whatever you want to call it. Anything that detects carbon monoxide. And you want to keep it high up in your room because that's where the fumes start from before they gradually work down and rob you of oxygen and you literally stop breathing. Okay. Carbon monoxide detector, people. Always make sure that you've got them in the house. Please. It's absolutely worth it. So we're looking at gas bottle heaters now. All right. Something like this, £25 absolute bargain. That's in Manchester. Okay. So if you're in Manchester and you haven't got one, go and get this one. Go on Gumtree. Do yourself a big fat favour and get it. This one is pretty good as well. It's in South Yorkshire. Now, whether that's the large one or the small one, I would say it's a large one because that's got 3 panels. The small ones tend to have 2 panels. So for 50 quid in that condition, this one is a bargain. And it's got a gas bottle in it too. Double bargain. So that one there, definitely get someone. Same sort of one here. This one's more old school. £15. Absolutely worth its weight in gold. Yes, it's got a tiny bit of surface rust on one side. It won't stop it doing its job. And that's 15 quid. I'm telling you this, people, you get a power cut and you've got no heating. This will be your best friend. You can even cook toast on the front. And that's no joke. Gas bottles, always worth getting some of those. This one, this was in Hull. Whoever's looked after this needs a big slap around the bonds. That's Ming in order. If you want to get it, take a risk, you could. I personally wouldn't. That needs a lot of work doing to that. This one here, that looks good. Clark's a good make. Solid. They last years. A little bit expensive, but it's better than nothing, in my opinion. Something like that. It's just a bit poncy, a bit for show. Someone's asking for one. Wow. So this one here, Highland. I'm not sure where that is. That looks like it's got 3 bars, so that's a large one. That's a good one. This one there, that's £120 in London. It looks pretty much new, and it's got a brand new bottle, but the bottle's a small one. So for 120 quid, they can kiss my grits. That's way too much. For that condition, for that make, with a small bottle, I would say 50 to 60 quid. They're taking the mick. Leave that one. This one, again, 7 kilo, small bottle, brand new. Yes, it's nice. It's up to you. Brand new. Personally, I'll get good quality second hand myself. It's a lot cheaper. This one's good. 85 quid. But this one's in pretty good nick. And you get a filled bottle as well. So that's a bargain there. They are out there, people. All right. Now, Evil Bay, they're probably the same. Okay. But Gumtree, you know, most people go on Gumtree. Gumtree's great. You've got no fees to pay. You just turn up there, give them cash. Simple. eBay, they take the piss and they take 10% off of it. All right. This one here, wow. Super Warm is a good make. And £50, anyone who's in Essex, grab this now. Grab it now. You can buy this in this condition for £200, right? There's £150 off of this straight away. This is a bargain, people. Get that one for sure. And what we got here, patio heater. Don't be putting them indoors, people. That's silly. It's not big and it's certainly not clever. Okay. 20 quid, bargain. 15 quid. Oh my God. Super bargain. It's got no gas ball, but that's a bargain. 150 quid. No, ridiculous. Wow, look at this. This is in South Ayrshire up in Scotland. This, 40 quid. I would pull your arm out your socket for that. It's even got a regulator and a tube. That could probably do with a clean. It's probably not too bad. But 40 quid for those gas bottles alone. An absolute steal. Total steal, that. This one, don't know, it looks a bit small with one thing. I'd leave that. This one here, Merseyside, that's a small one. These aren't that good. I'd probably walk away and leave that one. This one, 75 quid. It's getting towards the top end. If you're really desperate, that would be okay. That one in Kent, they're taking the piss. Sorry, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous, taking the mick. Empty gas bottles for a tenner. They're not too bad, actually. Do you remember back in 2022 when people were selling empty gas bottles this size for £100 each? I covered it on a live stream as proof. Yes. So, £10. I would grab these empties for £10 a bottle for sure. This one here, looks like it's hard to say. I'm just going to go and have a quick look off page. No, that's a good one, people, because that one is a large one. That's a bargain there. 2 empty bottles straight away, 50 quid, and it's perfect. Yeah, I'll totally get those. That one's good. That's a bargain. 80 quid, 2 empty bottles, good condition. If you're desperate, yes. If not, leave it. So that's that for gas bottles. Now, gas bottle heaters, I'm not joking, they are excellent. Brilliant value for money, okay? They're a lot clean, quick, safe, but you do need a carbon monoxide detector, 100%. So those things are worth looking at. Boiling the bag food. Now, I have got some on my Amazon page, Wayfarers. It's the cheapest ones I can find. So basically, you got your gas heater, your stove, sorry. You got your saucepan, you got some water in there, you drop a bag of food in there, you boil it up, you open the bag and you eat it out the bag. You haven't got to worry about washing up. Very quick, very simple, very convenient. Pot noodles as well. One of my go-tos. I always make sure I've got the king size because the little ones, they're going to keep a child hungry for 15 minutes. They're just not worth it. So get the king size, the big ones. All right. Funny enough, they're quite cheap on Amazon. Yeah, delivered. And that blew my mind a bit. If you're lucky, you can get king size pot noodles when they're on offer for £1, which they are in Tesco's right now. Mostly they're £1.50, but you can get them delivered for like £1.08 delivered. So that means you haven't got to drive to Tesco's. You just get them delivered to your door. So that's not a bad thing worth thinking about. You can get them in trays of 12. Again, that's on my Amazon page down there somewhere. Candles. Always make sure we've got candles. Trust me, wherever you get them from, charity shops or whatever it is, just get them. Okay, candles are worth their weight in gold. You get light and heat when there's no power. They've been used for decades. A warm hat as well, because warm air rises straight out your bonds. You need to make sure that you keep the heat in your head. Now, if you're one of these people that worry what anyone thinks, you're losing in the game already. Okay. When it comes to keeping warm in your own home, it's not a problem to wear warm clothes. I've got a Norwegian thermal military army shirt. Some of you vets know what I'm talking about. 100% wool jumper, great. Long johns on, not a problem at all. Just make sure you're warm. It's not a fashion parade. No one's going to judge you. Put a hat on if you need to. I do most of the time indoors. It saves the heating. Why wouldn't you? Just makes sense. Okay. Warm clothes as well. So those things are absolutely worth doing. Now, that's all well and good if you're indoors. Okay. What if you need to go out in the car? Now, a true story, which a friend of mine told me about. He was driving through Wales and he was getting not too far from Penny-Fan along that road from the BRECON beacons. And it started snowing and it started getting thick and it started laying pretty fast. He had to pull over. You know where that little burger van is by Penny-Fan, by the phone box? Yeah? Well, he had to spend the night there because the snow got so bad. Luckily, he had enough fuel in the car to have the engine running to keep the heaters on. Okay? He had candles and he had a sleeping bag and he had some food. And he said, thank God he put that in the car. Because can you imagine it? You've not got much fuel in the car. you got no sleeping bag and you got no food. Okay, yeah, you can run your car for a while, but what happens when the fuel runs out? All of a sudden, your car is an ice box. There's no insulation in the car. It's full of windows, thin metal. You're going to freeze. And if you've just jumped in the car, you didn't think, you're just wearing a t-shirt or a sweatshirt and jeans, you're in serious trouble right then. For sure. Because when the snow starts getting thick and there's not many people around, you're stuck. You ain't going nowhere. Okay, unless you've got snow chains, you've got grit, you've got a shovel, etc. You're going to be in big trouble. Okay, so things to have in your car. Now, I'd like your input if you think I've missed anything. It'd be interesting to see what you guys think. Now, I didn't do a full comprehensive list, so this is open for anyone to add to it. One of the first things I think, especially this time of year, right, start doing these things now. The title of the video says so. All right, a blanket or a sleeping bag. Always make sure you've got that in your van, your car, your pickup, whatever it is. Make sure you've got that. Okay, it doesn't weigh much. All right, it's not going to drain your diesel or petrol. Okay, but it could be enough to save your life if you get stuck because of these storms. Trees go down the roads, there's flooding, it starts to snow, whatever it is, and you're out in your car and you can't go anywhere. For any scenario you want to dream up, make sure you start doing these things now. A little gas stove, okay? Having a gas stove and a little bottle in the car to make hot water bottles in the car, have some hot cup of tea, pot noodles, boil in the bag, MREs, whatever floats your boat, okay? You need to have a gas stove to cook it. Gas is smell free, okay? It's quick and it's fast, okay? And it's a lot safer than having, I don't know, a wood burning stove in your car. I mean, can you imagine it? How dangerous and smoke. It's ridiculous, okay? So gas stove would be my go-to. Again, there's links in my Amazon store for that. If you haven't got one and you can't get one anywhere, that's all good. Snacks. Okay, this time of year is cool, and I'm not saying it, I mean it. It's cool. It's good to put things like chocolate in your car. Things that you couldn't put in your car in the summertime, you can now put in the wintertime because it's not going to melt. So absolutely, put sticky bars, nutty bars in your car, in a box, in a bag, whatever you want to do. Keep snacks in there. Okay, always a good idea, and maybe a few drinks as well. Whatever, a few bottles of water, cans of Coke, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. All right, make sure you've got them in your car. You don't have to go crazy, just one or two. We're not talking about putting a great big tuck shop in your car, just a few things. All right, so always make sure you've got water or a water filter. Now, again, I've put links below from all of that. The best filters, the ones that I use, the ones that's made in the UK, none of that cheap Chinese nonsense. The real British stuff is LIFESAVER. You click on the LIFESAVER water filter link and it opens up a page and it's got all of that stuff on there. And I think at the moment they're still doing their Black Friday, so that's going to save you some as well. All right, because if you've got a water filter in a car, you're always going to get water from somewhere. You can clean it and make sure it's safe, then you can drink it. All right, always a good idea. And you know, if you happen to break down or get stuck by a river or a lake, you've got unlimited water. Okay, because these water filters will filter thousands of liters of any dirty water into clean water. It's that good. Another good tip, a good prepping tip, is always try your best to make sure that as soon as your vehicle gets to half of a tank, fill it up. Okay, the reason for this is if you had to leave your property or your work in an emergency, you always know you've got a minimum of half a tank. That will get you to most parts of the UK. All right, if you break down or you're stranded, okay, you can have the engine running and you've got heat for a long time. Just imagine if you was in the red. Your car's not going to run for much longer and then you're not going to get much heat. Equals danger. Always make sure minimum half a tank of petrol or diesel in your car. A candle and a lighter. Like I say, everyone should carry a lighter. All right, you can get these from Tesco. They're under £1, but these ones, they always work. All right, I've tried so many different lighters. These ones always work, never a problem. Okay, and they're cheap, and you can refill them as well. Simple. All right. So having a candle in the car, personally, I'd have a candle, a big one, in a jar. Okay. It keeps it safe. It's not going to run all over the place. And then if you need to get going, you can just put a lid on it, snuff it out. No smells. Job done. Simple. Perfect. Optional. Now, this is dependent upon whereabouts you are in the UK. A shovel and some grit, a bag of grit. Now, some people say cat litter. You can try it if you want. I've tried it. It wasn't too bad, but grit's way better than cat litter. Okay. De-icer, a spray. I've always preferred to use a de-icer spray than a scraper because it's a lot quicker. Okay. You can stand there for ages with a scraper doing all of this, getting cold. You can spray it all over, get in the car, engine running. All right. I just prefer, especially when I was running late for work, you can clear your screen fast with that stuff. And the more below zero the temperature rating is, the faster it will clean all of your windscreens so you can get going. All right. If you like standing there scraping around with a credit card, it's up to you. It's fine. You can do what you want. But the icer sprays, if you haven't got any there in the Amazon page as well, a booster pack. Now, this happened to be one of our best purchases for my winter bug out vehicle. All right. Jump leads are okay, but they only work if there's another car present. You have to start thinking worst case. If you're on your own and your car won't start, jump leads won't do nothing. You're going to have to hope and pray and wait that someone comes along and they stop and they help, which is very rare. So my advice is to get a booster pack. Now, the company that I've bought mine out of my own money, TOPDON, is brilliant. I've never had one problem, and I've helped myself and other people in car parks. The car won't start. You just literally set it on top of their battery, crocodile clips, red and black, press the boost button, get them to turn the car, bang, starts every time. Them booster packs are brilliant. They seriously are. So if you want to know the ones that I've got, that's in my Amazon page as well. I think I've done a page called Car Kit and it'll be in there. Now, a really good tip, which I would say now would probably be the right time to do this, because you've only got to do this once a year, and that is to get some silicone spray. Okay, you can get it in Halfords or any car shop, right? You might even get it in supermarkets, I'm not sure, but Halfords definitely. I might see if I can find it on Amazon and drop it on my page as well. If you guys want convenience, I could do that if you want. But silicone spray, when you open your car doors and your boot, okay, if you've got a hatchback, you've got these rubber seals, right? Spray the silicone spray all over your rubber seals. Let it dry for about a minute, doesn't take long, and then shut it up, forget about it, okay? What that will guarantee is when you get freezing cold temperatures, all of your doors that you sprayed this on will open. I've seen it. I've seen it at work a long time ago. Some of the lads in the car park, they got to work. It was freezing cold. Their cars were parked in the car park all day. They come out of work. They couldn't even open the car door. They couldn't open it. It had frozen solid together. Okay, because these rubber things, these seals, when they get damp and it gets cold, guess what happens? Damp freezes. Frozen shut. Central locking, no, it's sealed. They couldn't get in their car. Buggered. Okay, now if you spray this on there, like I say, you got to do it once a year, and you only got to spray not much on there. One can will do the same car probably 3 times, so you get 3 years worth out of one can for about £4. It's absolutely worth doing. You sprayed it on there, as it starts getting colder like it is now, guaranteed you will get in your vehicle. All right, don't be that guy who walks up to his car, central locking, opens the flappy handle thing, nothing. Oh, broken the handle off. Oh, guess what? Now you can't get in the car, and now you've broken the handle on your door. What a pleb. Why'd you do that for? Try and think ahead and do these things. Start doing these things now, because it's getting colder, right? And according to what's going on in America right now, we could get some of that in the next couple of weeks. So if you need to get these paraffin heaters, all of these things, now's the time to get them, because let me tell you this, when the weather starts getting bad, everyone starts to get them, and then it's going to sell out fast, and you're going to be the one who's lost out. So we're going to share some quick tips now. This is from the horse's mouth, the National Grid. All right, 12 tips to prepare for a power cut. So what do we think on, guys? Keep torches and batteries handy. Totally agree. That's a great idea. Always make sure you know where your torch is. So when the power goes off, you need to get to it and know where it is. You don't want to be scratching your head thinking, now, where did I put that torch? Know where your torch is, okay? Tell you what, speaking of torches, this one here, now, Ninja Man, my bro, he just got one of these. Now, these are awesome. This is the sort of thing that you need, especially in your vehicle, all right? If you need to walk around the house for whatever reason, you need to really see this is the sort of thing that you're going to need, all right? This thing, 10,000 lumens. It's the Marauder Mini 2, all right? So link underneath the video, go on there. These are currently on sale, on offer right now, and I've given you guys a 10% discount code to save even more money. Having something like this in a power cut is invaluable. It really is. I'm not kidding there. I'm not kidding there. That's the spot. And that's the floodlight. 10,000 lumens. Can't lose. So again, that link's below as well. So going back to what our friends at the National Grid said, a torch, like they said, totally get a torch. Here we go. Number 2, make sure your mobile phone is charged and other equipment you rely on. Of course. Now, it's impossible to walk around all of the time with your phone 100% charged. In the real world, it's not like that. But what you can do is do this. Have a fully charged power bank available. All right. If you've got power banks, you need to make sure that they're full up at all times. You only use these when you really need to. And if you do use them, as soon as you finish using them, charge them straight up again. Absolutely. Personally, I take these out in the vehicle when I'm driving. The car's charging these up for free. Okay. I haven't got to pay to charge them up on the mains. You charge them up in your vehicle. USB, plug them in your fag lighter, off you go. Simple as that. Now, it reckons that you can keep your food okay in your fridge freezer for 48 hours. I disagree with that. If you have milk in your fridge freezer and you've got no power for 2 days, let me know what it smells like after. It wouldn't be doing too good. So another good thing to have is power banks or power stations to keep your fridge freezer running during a power cut. There'll be videos coming soon about this, guys. So if you're interested, you're in for a treat with this one. I'm testing it and I'm really impressed. Always have food and drink available that doesn't require electricity. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Boiling the bag foods. Things that you just need boiling water. Okay. Pot noodles, just have boiling water. Boiling the bag food, just have boiling water. You don't need anything. Keep it simple. All right. So get these sorts of dehydrated dry foods in your house which just need hot water. All right. Switch off electrical appliances. Well, I wouldn't worry about that myself. Always leave a light switch on. Yes, I think that's a good tip. Absolutely. As soon as the power comes on, the light comes on, you know you've got power. That's always a good rule. Okay. Hot water for drinks or heat. Totally, like we said earlier. Keep warm and safe. Blankets, thick clothes, a no-brainer. Always have a first aid kit. Very, very good. Good advice. And regularly save your work. So that's not a bad idea. If you work from home, right, every now and again, save it. Because if you have a power cut, you're going to lose all of the work that you've done. That's not a bad tip. Fill your car up with fuel. Well, like I said, always make sure you've got a minimum of half a tank if you can. If you're skint, just have to pray a lot. It's as simple as that. Essential medical kit. battery backup. So if you've got CPAPs, that sort of thing, always make sure you've got a power bank for this, people. All right. When the power goes off, you're not getting any sleep. Simple as that. Okay. And sign up to priority services, which we've already talked about in the last live stream about that. It's a no-brainer. And just quickly, we need to show you this as well. This is live right now here in the UK. These are where power cuts have happened just now. This is live, so Birmingham's having a bit of a laugh. Derby, a low volt incident. There's 2 properties about power now. Nothing crazy. $108 houses right now with no power. Okay, I'm not joking, I'm not making it up. 75 houses, no power right now. This stuff happens, all right? We're in winter time where we do get power cuts, all right? Now, granted, there's not many, but if you are in one of these houses, yeah, you're not going to be too impressed. Simple as that. So, yeah, you can go onto the national grid and you can look at their live power cuts map. Just type it in and you will find it. Okay, so listen, people, I hope this information has helped. It really does make you think ahead. Sorry?
Somebody's just asking, I'm going to buy power bank. How can you suggest any apart from me?
Yes, thank you, darling.
That's John Platt.
John, about the power bank. There is a link below this video to ALLPOWERS power station. Okay, if you click on that link, it will take you to their website, and that's the one that I'm currently trialing right now. So far, it's good. It's passed the test of using powering up my fridge freezer for 3 days straight. It's amazing, and it weighs half the weight of an EcoFlow. It's really good. So there's a link to that underneath this video. So if you want to have a look at that, and that'd be good. I'm currently in the process of building up content to do a video on that real soon, actually. So yes, that power bank, the ALLPOWERS one, is good. There's a link below this video for that, and that's pretty much it. So you guys have to be careful, and you need to start thinking now. Get these things now and start doing these things now, because when we start having the problems, everyone else is going to start getting them things, and it could be a bit of a problem getting them in the time that you need them. So that's pretty much it. So you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.